So we looked into the green meta. Let's dive on in with the next character in line, FANA, the blue meta character, which will fit in nicely with the blue meta that's currently happening right now on global. And more importantly, she is going to be an amazing AOE damage dealer that global has to offer. I don't think right now, when it comes to AOE damage, we don't have anything like FANA. I think FANA was the first, so there's that. And on top of that, she is the introduction for the burn meta. Obviously, as of right now for global, it's just kind of slowly being introduced. As time goes on, the burn meta will consistently build and build and build into something beautiful, as I like to say. Once we get to like season 5, we'll just say that. But anyway, we've gone through her kit, we know how she's working. AOE consistent damage, non-stop damage, obviously with attack boosting, etc. But more importantly, she's got that little bit of life stealing going on that we can benefit from when the enemies burn. So taking all that into consideration, let's look at what are some good builds for. Alright, so one thing we need to take note of is that obviously with her life stealing, it only comes from enemies that are burned. Right, other than that, she ain't life stealing. She's doing an enormous amount of AOE damage, but the life stealing is going to be packed away unless she applies her first skill where the burn takes in place. Unless you have the Greymore, then her second skill also applies burn. Now we have to also take in place the percentages. Of course, it's not a guaranteed burn. However, you got a good shot of burning the enemy, which is nice. So that being said, how are we going to work with FANA? So first things first, when it comes to accessories, as I like to go through, I tend to go with crit damage, right? Now, keep in mind with her base stat, her crit rate is 15% and then her crit damage is at 50%, which is nice. Now, having that as the base stat, I mean, if you want to rather do crit damage to crit rate, because if I wanted to, I can get her crit rate to 30% from accessories. That's also an option, but I tend to always cater with crit damage, so that way on the gear set wise we can bump that up. So obviously with the first easy build, that which is very universal for attacking characters, is going to be doubling up on the attacking side of things. Keep in mind we have to keep it magic attack. That is what FANA's main attack stat is going to be, so we're going to make sure that is being done properly. So of course double up on the attack, again double up on the crit rate, there we go, and then boom, loving that. And then lastly we'll double up on the crit damage, catering to the basic attack stat. Again, I mean, like I said, if you've got kits built for like Raya, Lich, etc., you can feed them off to FANA if you would like to. So this is just, again, a very safe gear set that you can tend to go, or build should I say, that you can go with FANA. This will do just as fine. Her damage output will be just as good. PvE wise, she'll do amazingly when it comes to farming higher stages and killing enemies in an AOE side of things, because both her ultimate and second skill is AOE. She does high amount of damage, it's beautiful, she gets the job done fairly quick. She is going to be an amazing farmer to have. Of course for PvP, once again, you know, she is a part of the blue meta. She can quite easily take that attack and roll. Keep in mind the meta is going to be shifting away, so kind of bad timing for FANA unfortunately, but it's an option. I mean, not everyone's going to have the green meta, of course, so you can always pick and choose on who you want to fight on PvP, and so you can resort to finding an opponent who's not ready for FANA, we'll just say that. Now again, the last gear set, oh wait, I forgot about sub-stats, how can I forget? Just before I forget, sub-stats, you want to do magic attack, and then in all honesty, you could either do attack, crit rate or crit damage, or magic attack, crit rate, crit damage, or and accuracy will be taken up by a gear set like that. So I mean, I'll just do my debuff one, so pretty much it'll be like this basically, and then sub-stats will be magic attack, crit rate, crit damage, and accuracy in order, though that's kind of what you're aiming for. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way, I kind of want to do it where we're kind of utilizing her life stillness. And keep in mind, she's an AOE attacking character that does a high amount of damage. So how can we feed off that? Well, if we keep the attack, let's just get rid of the crit rate and crit damage, because without that it's fine. FANA is still dealing a hefty amount of damage on base, so we don't need to worry about that. What you can do, if you would like to, you can feed into the pen and life stealing side of things. So again, I'm still hunting for that last penetration magic attack gear set, but that's fine, we'll just pretend that's a magic attack. Kind of annoys me that it's not, but RNG is not on my side. What you can do is, where's the, there is, yeah, there's no gold life stealing set, so I've got one for Noel right now, but if you would like to, you could cater to the life stealing side of things, because AOE high attacking characters lifestealing is something that you really should take into consideration because of how easily they can attack multiple characters, do so much damage, and potentially OHKO enemies. Both of her skills are AOE high damage attacking attacks, so you know, it's kind of like a missed opportunity on why not have lifestealing there. Even though she's got lifestealing built into her kit, there is a bit of a stipulation to that, so you can actually support that by giving her these two lifestealing. Now by having these two pieces of lifestealing, you will get a 10% HP recovery by killing an enemy, which for FANA is going to be a breeze, right? Because her her AOE damage output is nice, and plus you're attacking multiple characters. PvE wise, I would highly recommend to get lifestealing on, by the way. If you want to switch out for the pen and add in crit rate, that's also an option, or you can double up on the attack. That's also an option. But I would say having obviously the initial attacking gear set along with lifestealing, I think that's going to hit a sweet spot for FANA. But if you do want to add in the I'm missing one of the gear sets for lifestealing, but if you add 4 lifestealing gear sets, then she gains a lifesteal of 20% when she reaches 50% HP or below, which I don't highly recommend. So realistically, it's the 2 that you really kind of need to benefit from the lifestealing and actually supporting her lifestealing kit just that little bit more, of course. Now if you want to, you can take the accuracy on PvE. PvP, I don't recommend this. But for PvE, you can do so by having 2 of the accuracy gear pieces, which unfortunately I don't have any because I can't get them. My RNG luck is that bad. It will give you a plus 10% on your accuracy if you have those 2 gear sets applied, of course. So it does help out in the burn department. But again, for PvE wise, if you do have Leopold or like Fragolion, any of the burn characters supporting her, then you'll do just as fine. Honestly, having her and Fragolion together might be very, very beneficial because that AoE power, and they'll be able to farm a lot easier too. So that's something if you have those characters accessible, of course. PvP I won't really recommend, by the way, doing the whole accuracy thing. But yeah, this is kind of like my FANA build on how I do things. Well, I had a much better build, but I've passed it over to Noelle now. I will say high attacking AoE characters, you know, again, lifestealing, all that good stuff. This is kind of where you want to be at with them and kind of utilize this. But yeah, the day will come when I get that one piece. But until then, I typically use FANA for PvE. I mean, of course, right now for PvP, she's not meta. I've also got her maxed out, so yeah, we'll have some fun with her. Hopefully I can get a decent, well, no, I've got a decent gear set for her, so when it comes to me having fun with her, we'll do that, of course, so you guys can see the power of FANA, just to give you guys an idea on what to expect for global, of course. But yeah, that's kind of like some of the templates and builds that you can do and you can mess around with. As for the talent tree, okay, so for the talent tree, realistically, what I would say, if you are going to be going for like the crit rate and whatnot, then maybe you might want to benefit from the crit damage to the 5% damage dealt. But if you're feeding off from boosting the crit damage, then I would say magic attack and crit rate. So what I've got right on for my FANA is I've pretty much got the magic attack plus 7%, and then obviously every time a wave starts, she gets a 2.5 increase. So obviously overall that's a 12.5 increase on my crit rate, of course. So that way I can buff up my crit damage, so that the damage output, if that crit does succeed and hit off one enemy, because again it's AoE, then that one enemy is going to be taking a huge chunk of their HP, potentially OHKO, who knows. So that's kind of how I'm building off. But I will say that damage dealt and crit damage is also an option. If you are building up your crit rate, then benefit from the crit damage plus 10%. So there's that. Defense, I think I always say this. I mean, it's always going to be, you know, the casual defense plus 20%, and then the defense plus 4%, and the crit resistance. And then on the support, I would say it'll be very, very beneficial to get the accuracy plus 5 and the penetration along with the 20%. I think that will be more helpful and useful in the case of FANA, of course. So yeah, these are the 2 I'll recommend for her to be activated. And then her Greymoor of skill pages to use. So let's see. If you want to, I mean, luck is an option, because of course that first skill is going to be crucial to feed her from the life stealing. So if her first skill actually does hit pretty hard, so if you want to buff that up, that's also an option. You know, can't say no to that. That is not an option. What am I doing? Obviously, FANA skill card, if you do manage to pull it, stick it on her. It just all around buffs her up. So yeah, there's that. Going along further, Breath of Darkness, again, that is just, you know, pretty much a go-to Greymoor if you want to use that, of course. I don't know if Lich, I mean, yeah, if you do manage to pull Lich, then yeah, I think his is just, I feel like Lich's is just too damn good for the attacking boost on the attacking and the crit rate side of things. I just absolutely love it, of course. So that'll be an option. You've got this would not be bad. I would say don't bother with luck. If you've got this at your disposal, this will not be bad to use, because that skill 2, keep in mind, it's the AOE power that you're feeding off from FANA, so buffing that up, her second skill does pack a punch. Her ultimate, it hits hard, but her second skill also does not play around, so that might be a huge play if you want to feed off from the second skill. Okay, we'll do the easier because I'm kind of losing. Yeah, so of course for Goleon, it's another picture perfect one to have. Again, by having your HP equal to 50% or higher, that's nice to have alongside with, obviously, if you do manage to dupe her out. I think you have to dupe her out to get that buff 100%, right? Because of course on, is it the unique skill? Yeah, so grants 50% increased damage when HP is equal to 100% or higher. So basically that first turn if FANA gets in without being touched, that's going to, yeah, she's going to be hitting hard right there with that initial attack. So yeah, that's how that's going to work. Again, I did, mention Gorsh, Sea of Serpent's Pride, giving that crit rate up, that's pretty nice, but I would say stick with the damage boost pretty nicely, especially if you're going for the lifesteal on the pen gear set with the attack. That would be pretty nice to have. And then, if we go universally again, you've got the book, which again, quite easily you can max that out and feed off from the damage output being maxed out right there. So that could be something if you choose to use that. And I think that's pretty much everything when it comes to the skill pages that you guys can choose from and use. Yeah, so that's, I think that's everything. I'm double checking, I'm triple checking, I'm quadruple checking, we're in the clear. But anyway, that is pretty much everything when it comes to FANA. She is going to be an amazing character to have. PvE wise, she's going to make life a whole lot easier, especially in the high ranking PvE farming stages, so loving that. But just an overall, another blue meta character. However, she's on the AOE damage dealing department, which is needed in my opinion. We don't have any blue unit like that on global, so she fits very perfectly when she does drop into global. It's just kind of bad timing because a new meta is shifting, and I'll get onto that when it comes to showing off team sets for these Eye of the Midnight Suns characters. But anyway, the last character to look at is Veto, being the worst out of the four. Unfortunate, pepperoni on that one. However, FANA, Lich, Raya, done and dusted. All three amazing characters. Hard to say skip, but we'll go further more into that once they're out and we look at future banners and upcoming characters and break those characters down with builds, etc. and all that good stuff. I'm out. See you guys on the Veto one. Take care. Peace.